everybody, welcome back to Disney Mad UK. This is my Disneyland Paris top 10 money saving tips. Now most of these you can do before you go, but planning is key to save the maximum amount of money. So here we go with top tip number 1, which is to pick a date carefully. Now if you consult the brochure from the travel agent or online, you need to look for the blue squares, and these are the cheapest dates, the pink squares being the most expensive dates. Generally, the whole of January is the cheapest month to go, and these can also double up as a Christmas present if you are really tight. Top tip number 2 is to wait for a promotion. Now, there are 2 different types of promotion that generally Disneyland Paris do. Either 2 days and 2 nights free, or you can have a discount and free half-board meal plan. Now, generally, I prefer the discount and the free half-board meal plans because the 2 days and 2 nights free is going to cost you more overall on food, on souvenirs, but the discount, which can either be 10, 15, 20 or up to 30% off your hotel, and you also get free half-board, which saves you so much on food already. Now, top tip number 3 is to shop around and to challenge the travel agent. Now, sometimes if you can find on an alternative website from Disneyland Paris exactly the same deal as what is on their website, like for like exactly, some travel agents will match it. Not all of them, but some of them. I have managed it on a couple of occasions, so it is really advisable to just try your luck and see if they will offer you a cheaper deal. And top tip number 4 is your hotel choice. Now, all the hotels are very much the same. The only difference is the style of the furnishings and the distance to the parks. Now, the ones that are further away do have a shuttle, but they boast in the top two hotels, the Disneyland Hotel and the Hotel New York, that they have a hot food offer. But I've had those, and I wouldn't say it's that much to go for a top hotel. Personally, I think going for the Newport Bay Club and the Hotel Sequoia Lodge are generally still quite relaxed at breakfast times. Not chaotic at all. You get a nice table, you get relaxed. But if you do go to the Cheyenne or if you do go to the Santa Fe, then it does get very busy at breakfast times, so you've got to be there before breakfast starts and get yourself moving. One other thing I would advise to do is to get some of the rolls that they have at breakfast time. Get some ham, some cheese, some of the spreads, make them up while you're there, put them in a lunchbox and pop them in your backpack. This will save you some money when it comes to part of your lunchtime. Now, top tip number 5 is the photo passes. These are very much dependent on what your personal preferences are. So if you want photos from lots of the rides, or you would like family photos with the characters or photos as a couple with the characters, then I would advise getting this, because otherwise if you're paying for each photo individually, it's going to start costing you more and more money. Whereas if you are there solely to take pictures of your children with the characters, then I would just use your camera phone. If you're not interested in being in the photos, then I don't think this is really something it's worth adding on to your holiday. And number 6 is to buy a cheap buggy if you have children. My son, when he was 3, he hadn't used a buggy for almost a year, and he had also dropped naps, but he was getting very tired very quickly, especially by the end of the day, 3rd day. He was tired of getting up early every morning. He was tired of all the walking, and he was flat out asleep by midday on the 3rd day. They do have buggies that you can hire for a fee at Disneyland, but it is not cheap. And not only do you have to pay the fee, but you also have to pay a deposit as such. I wouldn't, if you can afford it, do it. If you can't, I wouldn't do it. Not only that, is by going for a cheap buggy, they're generally lighter, which would be easier to get on and off at the airport, the Eurostar, however your means are of travelling. And also, if it's only a cheap one, if it gets damaged or if it gets stolen or anything like that, which shouldn't happen at Disneyland, hopefully, then it's not too much of a bother because it was only cheap. Top tip number 7 is the Disney Express. Now, although this one doesn't necessarily save you money, it will help you get the most for your money. Now, not all luggage fits in the lockers that Disneyland Paris have. And I try to get all of our families into one really large suitcase. So for us, this really works. You don't want to be stuck carrying around your luggage on the first day when you arrive, and you don't want to be carrying it once you check out on the last day. So it's worth paying that little bit extra and just having them take care of your luggage for you. You haven't got to worry about it, and you can enjoy your time as much as you can in the parks rather than losing 2 days because you're carrying around luggage and it doesn't fit in the lockers. Number 8 is to book the restaurants in advance, especially if you take advantage of the half board promotion. I would book the restaurants before you go, else you will miss out on the best restaurants because they do get booked up early and quickly. If you, say, for example, wanted to go to Cafe Mickey, or if you wanted to go to the Princess restaurant, then you should book them at very least a week before you go to make sure that you get the time that you would like and you would get the day that you would like. If not, you could end up paying out more money if you really had your heart set on going to one of those by, basically paying to go to those restaurants when you could have used your vouchers. And number 9 is souvenirs. Now, souvenirs, as we know, are not cheap. And especially if you have children, they are going to go, oh my gosh, there's so many wonderful things here. I give my oldest children an allowance when we went because they had an understanding of money. And we would say, okay, this is your euros. You can spend these, but when these are gone, you cannot ask us for more money. Okay, because there is no more money. We used to tell them, which wasn't necessarily true, but for their argument, it was gone. That works if your children have an understanding of money. If they don't, and you know they're going to want certain things, then try and get from them the sort of things they're going to be looking for before you go, and I would hit eBay. Now, I pre-buy some things before we go, so if I know that one of my children has a thing for Moana, I've got a pour for when we go on holiday. I know another one is into Frozen, so she's going to get an Olaf before we go on holiday. They always ask for the ears before we go, or the ears while we're there, so we have a set of ears for all of them at home now. But if you don't, then hit eBay. You can get them really cheaply, and it just saves you a good €10 while you're there. Another thing which we have is a family tradition. Every time we go to Disneyland, everybody gets a pin. Now, I always try to dig out what pin everybody's looking for, so be it Pluto, Stitch, whoever. Find them on eBay. Buy it for €1 or £1 or £2 rather than paying the 8 to 12 euros that you're going to pay at Disneyland for one that they see there. And tip number 10 is snacks and fresh food. Now, in the summer, obviously, I did recommend making up rolls and taking them out with you. In the summer, if it's really hot, they're going to go a bit dodgy. You're not going to want to take those out with you. If you want to get fresh food, I would really advise going to the Petite Casino, which is in the Eurostar terminal. They have crisps, they have sweets, they have drinks, they have sandwiches, they have loads upon loads of different choices there. It is much cheaper than the parks, and it is much cheaper than the food they have in the little shops in the hotels. So this place was a lifesaver, and we got lunch so cheaply on so many occasions from this place. I would also recommend using this place to pack up on food on the way home if you're going via Eurostar, and on the way to Disneyland, make sure you take drinks and make sure you take some snacks with you. I think it was about £1 for a can of Coke on the Eurostar train, which is absolutely ridiculous. But this place is an absolute lifesaver. As you go in the Eurostar terminal, turn left and it is right there. They'll save you a lot of money. Now, we are on Facebook as well, so if you want to go onto Facebook and check out Disney Mad UK, we're putting on all different promotions all the time that are available everywhere, and we also share product reviews on all the different products, not just in the Disney store, but across every shop. So, and it's an open page, so if you have things that maybe I haven't picked up on, it'd be great to share what you have as well. So thanks everybody, hope you liked it, hope it helps save you some money, and see you soon. Bye.